Hello and welcome to Smashterpieces, a casual walk through the history of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. My name is Joe.
And my name is Matt.
And if you're new here, which, honestly, this week, there's a very large chance of that, on this show, we are playing one game for every character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And today's game represents fighter number 46, Mega Man. It's the 1988 NES game, Mega Man 2.
Every character, you say?
Every character.
That's a lot of characters.
Yeah, we're gonna have to book it if we want to finish before the game comes out.
Oh my god.
Anyways, this game rules. I love this game.
This is the best game that we've played on Smashterpieces so far. Honestly, Mega Man 2's really good.
So, I had, as we talked about last episode, I had played this game before, I'd just never beaten it. You had never played a Mega Man game before.
Nope, not a one.
Which is really interesting to me for some reason. Like, that's one of those series where you just assume, like, everybody's fucking played Mega Man. It's Mega Man.
No, not quite.
But, like, that's not the case. So, it's actually, I think that makes for a really interesting conversation, or will make for really interesting conversation in the show. So what did you think of your first trip into Monsteropolis?
Into what?
Monsteropolis. That's the name of the city that Mega Man lives in. That's canon. That's real.
I choose not to. Thank you. Well, so obviously I knew what a Mega Man game entailed because, yeah, to some extent, like, it's just part of pop culture, especially in gaming. So, I mean, like, I even knew, like, you know, sort of short hop and fire the Buster. I just doing that was intuitive just because that's, you know, you see that so much and the other games have copied it so much. But I wasn't expecting like all the different powers to be so well balanced and integrated in ways that they were actually interesting to use. Like, some of them are dumb. I didn't end up liking all of them, but I used Metal Blade a lot, obviously, but I also ended up using Bubble in pretty creative ways. I used the Crash Man weapon. I used the Crash Man weapon more, like, I didn't figure out the doors that only open with them until I was well into it, but, like, I saw them everywhere. And, like, I would see things like the items that you get. In every stage, there's stuff that you need those items to get. And, like, I was really surprised at how well integrated the powers are into the level design. And I didn't even know that the items 1, 2, and 3, I didn't know they existed at all. And they were really cool to see, too. So that was a surprise. And the level design was all so solid. I didn't think that there was a single point where the levels were just, like, outright awful.
I almost had a point where I was gonna point one out. So in one of the Wily levels, there are like invisible holes in the floor, and originally I was gonna be like, that's stupid, that's bullshit. And then during your stream, somebody pointed out something that neither of us had thought of, or pretty much anybody in the chat had thought of, which was just shoot a bubble.
Yeah,
it'll show you where they are.
Yeah, which is incredible.
And instantly my criticism's gone. Like, that fixes the whole thing. I was just stupid.
Like, that's actually probably what you're supposed to do there, and we were just too dumb to figure it out.
That's 100% what you were supposed to do there. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, and, like, you have this power. Like, that is the kind of thing that you would see in another game, and it would be stupid level design. But Mega Man uses the powers that you have to your advantage and actually finds a real purpose for what would be stupid design in other games.
Yeah, I have literally one thing in this entire game that I think is objectively bad, but other than that, like, this game is fantastic. It's the first game that we've played so far that I've had fun from beginning to end.
And what a way for the NES era to end.
Yeah. I'm so happy that I was super worried that this was going to end up like Castlevania, where for the most part, I think Castlevania is a pretty good game, but then I got to the end game. I don't like the end game. I don't like it at all. Or same with Mario Brothers 2, where like overall, it's a pretty alright game, but then I didn't like the later levels. This game pulls off, like, the end game super well.
Yeah, Wily's Castle is so much fun. There's like a really special thing that comes together since you have, since the game knows for certain that you have all the power-ups at that point. And going through, there are parts in every level where you can get bonuses if you have other power-ups. But once you get to Wily's Castle, the game is confident you have everything, and it makes you use everything. And, like, when I got items 1, 2, and 3, I thought they would be like these weird bonus side things that were like, oh, you're never really gonna use these. But then in Wily's Castle, you do use them. They are part of how you get through the castle. Every single item was important in some way.
Yeah, and that's a really, like, interesting thing to me about the level design too, is that, yeah, all the other levels have ways you can use the weapons, but they're never required unless you're me and bad at the block puzzles, and you just use item 1 to get through Heatman stage, or item 2. Which one's the jet? It's 2. 2, right?
That's 2.
Yeah, just use the jet to get through the Heatman stage. That last one is a doozy, and I'm really bad at those, so I just do that. And then you get to Wily stage, and they're able to just make really interesting levels. That's the only place where I really ever used item 3, for instance. There are places where you can use it, such as like right at the beginning of Quickman stage to get like an extra life, but I don't think I had it when I played Quickman stage. I'm not sure on that.
It's one of the later items that you get.
Yeah. Well, no, I believe they're specifically connected to completing certain levels. I don't know this for sure, but I believe that like completing certain levels gives you a certain item. You don't necessarily get them in order.
Oh, I got them in order. I don't know.
I have no idea. I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure. But let's go over the levels real quick. What is your favorite level non-Wily related?
Oh man. I don't remember the level design that specifically, to be honest. I only played it yesterday, actually. So you'd think it'd be fresh in my mind, but actually it's not, because it all kind of blurred together. I didn't expect it to go so quickly. I expected this to be something that I took my time with a lot more. I think that there was something good in every level. For example, starting on Metal Man stage, the way that it used conveyors was pretty tricky and pretty fun in the end. Because it varied the timing of your jumps a little bit, but in a way that was always consistent, in something that you could always predict. Then we got... Okay, so the one stage I think was a Heatman stage with blocks that appeared and disappeared and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, that one wasn't as good.
So those appearing blocks are a Mega Man staple. They are in every single game.
Yeah, I get it. I think they were too much. Bubble Man stage is really cool. That was a really cool stage where going through the water.
See, that always stresses me out. I like it. It's good. It's really cool and fun, but it stresses me the fuck out.
It worked for me. I don't know. It worked out. I had a lot of fun with it. I was really dumb at the start of it and kept dying in the exact same way over and over and over and over again. But I had a fun time. And Quickman, I actually found the those insta-kill lasers were not that egregious, in my opinion.
I'm still not a huge fan of them, but I will admit, going back to them now, they're not as bad as I remember them having been.
I think it'd be nice if there was a checkpoint a little closer to them, but you don't really have to memorize them. You just have to not jump and always be moving. And I think when you were playing it, I saw you were trying to be a bit too careful when you kind of just gotta gun through it on instinct. It's generous enough that you don't need to have it memorized, but it's not so generous that you can take your time and think about it. You just have to go, and there's enough wiggle room that when you just go, you'll probably get it if you keep moving. And once I kind of internalized that and got that down, that started to work out for me really well. Yeah,
you had a lot less trouble than I did. I was sort of struggling with those. And that might be exactly what it was. I was probably hesitating a little bit too much. And a lot of it might have been that, like, when I was a kid, Quickman stage is the one I could not beat. Could not do it. I think, now that I remember, I've been saying that Heatman and Quickman, those were the two I couldn't beat as a kid. I'm pretty sure I beat Heatman as a kid. Mm-hmm. But I can guarantee you I never beat Quickman. So that might be that sort of quote-unquote trauma. It's not trauma, but I don't know a better word for it.
Yeah.
Might have been what was sort of holding me back. But there is one section of Mega Man 2 that I'm not a huge fan of, and it's in one of the Wily sections. And that is the Orb Room.
Is that the Crash Bomber boss?
Sure is.
I don't think we don't need to dwell on this too much, but yeah, it's a piece of garbage.
I'm not going to dwell on it very long, but let me paint the picture. You walk into a room, there are a bunch of orbs on the wall, they shoot stuff at you, and most of them are blocked by crash bomb walls. And you don't have enough crash bombs with full ammo to destroy all the walls and destroy the orbs, which can also only be hurt by crash bombs. So it's not a boss so much as it's a puzzle, where if you mess up once, you might as well just die because you lost.
Well, you need to go in with full ammo because it requires full ammo, period.
Yeah.
If you don't have full ammo, you're not making it through.
Now, there is one thing. I think they knew this wasn't great, because if you die, when you come back, any walls that you had crash bombed are gone still. Mm-hmm. They stay gone. But, like, when you die, you don't get your ammo back, which, of course, you obviously shouldn't. The game's not designed around that. But that means that, you need Crash Bomb to do this boss. I guess you gotta farm ammo pickups for Crash Bomb.
That room needed a much easier way to get ammo going into it.
Very, very much so.
And I think the final boss had the same problem too, where only one weapon worked on it. I don't like that. I think that I think is bad design, because you give me all these tools and you limit me down to one. And it doesn't even really make sense which one you need to use either. I don't understand why the bubble attack is the only one that hurts the final boss.
Oh, I understand why. I just think it's stupid. It's because it's an electronic hologram, and you're splashing it with water.
You're right. That sure is stupid.
That's logically why, but, like, you don't know that going into the game, and I don't know, that might be something that was written in the manual, but considering it's framed as something that's supposed to be a twist, I am not sure if it was. And I think you described Mega Man at one point as being like a game that thrives on playground talk, like, I found out that this weapon does this against this boss. So it felt like something like that, except for the other bosses, well, minus the orb room, for the other bosses, all the weapons work on them for the most part. It's just, that's the weapon that does the best against it, whereas for this boss, that's the weapon that hurts it. None of the other weapons hurt it. And the thing that gets me about that is there is no way to get your ammo back without getting a game over. So what if the player, like you, came into that boss with 5 lives and then ran out of ammo for the bubble lead halfway through the damn boss fight?
That's just too bad. That sucks.
What? So they just have to fucking die 5 times to get their ammo back? No, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't think there. I don't want to make a sweeping statement that this is true in any game, but I can say at least in this game, I don't think there's really a situation where only one weapon can work in this situation is really good design. Because there's so many opportunities to be creative with all the different weapons, and then for the final boss to just be, gotta shoot a bubble. That I'm not a fan of. that actually takes away from what I loved about the entire game leading up to that. Because I felt like the entire game leading up to it gave you so many chances to be creative with it. It gave a lot of opportunity to play how you wanted to play how you were comfortable, and to ultimately decide that the Metal Blade was the best way to go. And I thought that was really fun to give you all these options, and all of them were equally valid. And they had to be equally valid because you could get them in any order. And then most of Wily's Castle took advantage of you having everything in a really smart way. Except for the Crash Bomb boss, except for the final boss. That's all stuff that undermined the entire fantastic game leading up to it. And that's a shame that it leaves the game on a sour note, where you're thinking through most of it, this game's incredible, I'm having so much fun, I'm loving it, and the last thing you think is, this is kind of stupid, and I don't like this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Though, I did want to bring up that I played a little bit of Mega Man 1 before we started Mega Man 2, because I wanted to get used to the rewind function of the Legacy Collection on Switch, but also just, I wanted to make sure that I was right in saying Mega Man 1 was a bad game. Hey, yo, Mega Man 1's a bad game.
I haven't played it yet.
So, Mega Man has this weird sliding momentum to him in Mega Man 1, which, while playing, I was like, I don't remember this being in 2, and guess what? It's not. It's not in 2. They fixed it in 2. They also, they made ammo and health a lot more frequent, but some would say they made it a little bit much. Just a tad.
In Mega Man 2, you mean?
In Mega Man 2.
Oh yeah. Well, we were playing on easy difficulty too, which I chose easy because I had never played a Mega Man game before, and it ended up that my fears were unfounded, and I didn't need to be playing on easy.
I chose easy because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life playing Mega Man 2, because that's what would have happened. I'm not good at video games, folks. Let's just get that out on the table right now. The other games do not have a difficulty selection. Mega Man 1 might, I don't remember, but Mega Man 3 I was playing earlier today does not. So, that's not a thing that continues on. They might later. Mega Man 10 did, but Mega Man 10's easy mode is the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. Where it puts platforms over pits and gets rid of platforming challenges?
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, no, it's really stupid. It's one of those, like, at that point, why are you playing the game? Why are you playing Mega Man if this is how you're going to play it?
I'm playing it for the story in this 8-bit game with no story.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, Mega Man 1 to 2, vast improvement in every way. Every way. I was going to try and beat Mega Man 1, and I came kind of close. I only had one Robot Master left, but then he glitched out and became literally unbeatable. So I kind of put the kibosh on that. But yeah, I don't think I have much more to say outside of Metal Blade. What is your favorite weapon?
Probably the boomerang. I didn't end up using it a ton because why would you use anything but Metal Blade? But the boomerang, I feel like, was the coolest. And the arc that it goes in is... I feel like it's conducive to getting really good hits in ways that have you position yourself really well. I thought that was a really cool weapon to have, and I also thought that it was good against... Well, it should have been good against those robots with the shields, and it ended up that the boomerang actually can't hurt them, even though it would be... It feels like it should make intuitive sense. You throw the boomerang behind him, and it comes back and hits him in the back, bypassing the shield. That didn't end up happening.
Nope, sure doesn't.
And it should have. That's a huge missed opportunity. But, oh well.
Yeah. The enemies are called Sniper Joes, by the way.
Cool, that's you.
They're up there as, I think, probably, I want to say, the second most iconic Mega Man enemies. The first, of course, being the Mets.
That's you.
The Metors.
The Sniper Joe, that's you.
Yep, and wow, Sniper Joe and Met. Alrighty. Your name is Mets now.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I've decided.
No, I'm good.
Contact us on Twitter and tell us that you want Matt's name to be a Mets now. But no, this game is just super good, and my favorite weapon that everybody got mad at me for is the Mega Buster. I just think the Mega Buster is a lot of fun to use. It's not the best weapon. I get it. I get that it's the base weapon. It's the worst weapon. I love using the Mega Buster. I don't know why. It just feels very satisfying to me, and that's how I like playing.
I get it, but there are some points where you really should have been using the Mega Buster. Not the Mega Buster, the Metal Blade.
I'm stubborn.
Like when you were going on the ladder and enemies were coming from above.
I'm stubborn.
So stubborn that you'll take hits that you don't need to take.
Damn right. I beat the game, didn't I?
Debatably.
I like using the Mega Buster. But nah, like, this game's super good. Mega Man is responsive, and it's the best controlling game we've played so far. It's the most fun from start to finish game we've played so far, and God, I love Mega Man 2.
And the Mega Man Legacy Collection that we were playing on is also really good. It's got 6 games on it.
And there's also a Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 that has some bad games, and then 9 and 10.
Which I should look into, because I actually did own 9. I never ended up playing it.
I've never played 9. I owned 10, never beat it. A lot of people don't like 10. I think they're a little too hard on it, personally. I think it's a fine game.
I couldn't tell you that I really know anything about it. By the way, I'm watching the VOD of my stream, and it's really fun to see how my capture card maxes out at 30 frames per second, and this game does that thing that those NES games do with flashing every frame in 60 frames per second. So sometimes Mega Man's just invisible if you watch my VOD.
Sure is.
So, I'm looking forward to when we get real transparency and good flashing effects, because that ain't cutting it.
Anyways, let's talk about some music.
So it's fun. It's funny how we go through these games a lot quicker when we don't have a lot to complain about, because there's only so many ways we could say, yeah, this game's pretty good.
Yeah, it really is.
We're not at that point where games are complicated enough to have a ton to say about them yet.
Yeah, but luckily for us, Mega Man 2's soundtrack is, for the most part, the best soundtrack we've had so far.
It is a banger.
It's better than Castlevania, though Castlevania is still very good.
Castlevania's number 2.
When it comes to NES games, Mega Man music's where it's at. No other franchise can compare. I say this with utmost confidence in my words. Mega Man has the best NES. My favorite NES soundtrack is from Mega Man 3. Like, it's just got the best music.
There is not a bad song on the whole soundtrack.
And because of that, we probably aren't going to cover the whole soundtrack, but first off, we need to give the obligatory mention to the undisputed best song in the game. It's Wily Stage 1. It's the Mega Man song.
Yes, as first, if you believe the copyright muting on Twitch, it was first featured in the Hollywood film Pixels, and then was later used in the NES game Mega Man 2.
Jesus Christ. Can't believe that's a thing. You can't do that.
Doing pretty good there, Twitch. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Good job, Twitch. Good job, copyright law. You guys are really, really doing the thing. But, so I asked you to pick your top 3 that weren't Wily Stage 1. So let's go back and forth on that. What's your top?
So let's start with number 3?
Yeah, let's start with number 3. Let's do that. I like that.
Alright. So, Flashman's theme, as featured in Sonic 2006.
So mad that you brought that up.
If you go look up Town Mission 4 in Sonic 2006, part of that song, it's about 28 seconds in, if you're listening on YouTube, straight up rips off Flashman's theme.
Yeah, it's just Flashman's theme. It's blatant, and somebody should have gotten sued, but they didn't. I like Flashman's theme a lot, though when I was younger, I used to get it mixed up with Quickman a lot for some reason. I'm not sure why. They're not that similar, but they're similar enough that in my brain, like, I'd hear one and go, oh, that's Quickman. Ah, God damn it, no, it's Flashman.
Quickman's theme has, like, a lot of weird techno bits going on with it. Quickman's theme is my least favorite of, like, the main Robot Masters themes.
Well, my number 3 is Quickman.
Okay, well, I'm sorry we can't all be right.
I just really like Quickman's theme. A lot of it might be from outside influences, those influences being the Megas. If you've never heard of the Megas, they are a band that pretty much exclusively does music based on Mega Man. Like, they have a Mega Man 2 regular and acoustic album. They've got two Mega Man 3 albums. They've got a collaborative album with another band based on Mega Man 1. They're a super good band. And Quickman's song, The Quick and the Blue, is probably up there with one of my favorites on their Mega Man 2 album. So that might have something to do with it. I also just really like the song. I think it's a good song. I don't know. I don't know, there's just not enough of a melody going on in there for me. There's too much, like, jumpy techno bit going on. Like, not only like this weird, I'm not sure if it's like supposed to be like a snare drum sound or like electronic crackling, but just something in there. It's too much, I think. It doesn't work for me. It's not a bad song, it's just the weakest, I think. Well, what's your number 2?
Crash Man!
Yeah!
in my chat, one of our friends said that the Crashman theme was part of like his marching band cadence, I think is the right term. I was never in marching band. I don't know if I'm using the terminology right. And if I'm wrong, I am certain he will correct me. But like this, it was a regular song. Someone just snuck it into like the list of songs that they regularly played in marching band. And that is honestly part of why I love it so much, because it's those songs that they play at the football games to like get you hyped up, and that's what this song does. Like the fact that it fits into that grouping of songs is perfect. It's a perfect, like, it's not super overdone, like it's not this crazy action movie thing, but
it's a bouncing groovy song.
Yeah, and it's so cool to listen to. It kind of doesn't fit with all the other Robot Master themes, but it's still just really cool. Like, it's so much fun to listen to, and it keeps a lot of momentum up, gets you moving, makes you feel like, you're getting stuff done. This feels great.
Well, fun fact, Crashman was actually my number one.
Well.
So, it's a good song. It's probably the catchiest song in the game, in my opinion. It's just one of those, like, you gotta move while you're playing the level, but don't, because you're playing Mega Man, you will die.
It's a groove.
It is a groove. My number two, though, is, there's not a lot to it. Admittedly, it is the shortest loop in the game, I think. But I really like Heatman.
I don't like listening to as much, but it's really effective, where it's got like this sort of it's got like this bubbly kind of bounce to it that makes me think of like lava bubbles, and I think that works out in its favor really well.
I just like it. It sounds very intense. It's very, not intense, but tense just in general, because like you're dropping into basically a fucking volcano. Not really a volcano, but like a what's the word? Like a smelting center?
Something like that.
And it feels, I don't know, it's the bass line at the bottom just feels really tense and nerve-wracking, and I really, really like the atmosphere that song creates, which is weird to say about an NES chiptune.
I think it works. It works pretty well. It's not my favorite, because there are other songs in the game I'm like, these are jams and I love them, but it's a good song.
So what's your number one?
My number one is Airman's theme. Yes, it is, I would say, probably the number 2 most iconic song in the game.
Yeah, I would put that there. That sounds right.
Yeah, I think it was in like some Newgrounds Flash thing or something or other. I Can't Beat Airman, something like that.
Yeah, there's a very famous song. I don't know if it was a Newgrounds Flash, because I believe it was Japanese, about a guy who can't beat Airman, and he's telling the story about how he can't beat Airman, and then I believe the song later moves on to, so I went to fight Woodman because I found out that Leaf Shield does good against Airman, and now I can't beat Woodman.
Good. Is it set to like the Airman theme?
I don't think it is, but I'm not sure. I've never actually heard the song, I just know of its existence.
I've never seen it myself, but I I have spent my life believing that it is based off of Airman's theme.
In fact, I think it might be Haldane that did it.
Really?
I think it might be a Haldane song, but don't quote me on that.
I still have no idea how to pronounce his name, so.
Me neither.
I heard Mother's Basement say Haldane, which, when spelled out, looks right, but doesn't feel like anything that any human being would actually pronounce, so.
Who knows? But yeah, no, that song's really good. It was done... Who did the remix of it in Smash?
Noriyuki Iwadare.
Yeah, the Ace Attorney guy.
If you listened to me on Show Me Your News Ultimate, hosted by our good friend Yoko, Peter, Show Me Your News goes far back for a lot of us. I was on an episode a couple weeks ago, and you'll notice we talked about our top 5 favorite music tracks in Smash Brothers. 3 of my top 5 were arranged by Iwadare, so...
Yeah. I do remember that.
He's got some good songs going on. I love him.
Now, as one last mention, music-wise, I feel like I should mention this because I was harping on it last episode. It's still not great, but the boss song is a song. It's music this time.
Yeah.
For the first time in the run, it's actually a song. It's not a great song, but it's a song.
Yeah, it factually is. It feels so much like Castlevania at the start of it.
Little bit, yeah.
But yeah, it is a song. It is in fact music. It's not just some stupid looping bass riff, so, hey, good job, NES composers. You finally figured out how to make boss music.
I just figured I needed to give credit where credit is due. I've been complaining about awful boss music since Kid Icarus, so when we finally get one that doesn't make my ears want to leave my head, I should at least acknowledge it.
I hope you don't expect that to last more than this episode, because our next game doesn't have great boss music.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good to know. Great. Anyways, do you got anything else on Mega Man 2? I'm out of topics.
Mega Man's good. It's
a good game.
So far, the feelings that I've had, the closest that I've come to being, really invested in something that we did for Smashterpieces was for Castlevania. I was like, this was interesting. I think I would like to continue the Castlevania franchise sometime. But for Mega Man 2, it's I finished that game and I was like, I need to play the rest of the series. Mega Man's awesome.
They're good. They're good goddamn games.
Yeah, I cannot believe I've been missing out on this for so long. Mega Man's really cool.
I'm glad we got to play one, which basically is just my way of saying, God, I'm glad Mega Man's in Smash. Even if I can't play him worth a damn, I'm glad Mega Man's in Smash.
Isn't he, solidly low tier?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. He doesn't seem like a very good character, but he's very true to Mega Man.
Yeah, well, he's mid-tier, actually.
Oh, nice.
He's pretty much at exactly the middle of the tier list.
He's a weird character. Just his normal A attack alone is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just the Mega Buster.
Well, Mega Man's good enough in the tier list that I think he's at that spot where it doesn't matter if he's really that good of a character, because he's super true to Mega Man. He works so well as representative of his games that he might not be a tournament level character, and that's, it's disappointing to never see him in tournaments, but he's the kind of character that reminds you of how special Smash Brothers is. And something we haven't been talking a lot about, how the characters translated from their games over to Smash Brothers, partially because what was there to talk about for Peach? We haven't played Ultimate, so we don't really know what Simon does. And we were just so mad about Kid Icarus. What could we say about Pit? But Mega Man in Smash is the perfect and just everything that we would possibly want in moving a character from his source material to Smash Brothers. I don't think there is a character who is representative of their original game as perfectly as Mega Man is. Maybe Simon will be, because we haven't played Ultimate yet. We can't tell. But Mega Man, as far as the roster that we're looking at, from veterans, people that are coming back from previous games, it doesn't get much better than him. Because playing Mega Man in Smash Brothers is part of why I was able to instinctively pick up the game and know how to move, and know the exact button inputs that I needed to do to get my way around the game, because I did all these things in Smash Brothers, and when I moved over to Mega Man 2, they worked exactly the same way. And that is a really exciting thing to see out of a character in Smash, and it's absolutely incredible to see how faithfully he was transferred over. A couple of his moves in Smash Brothers come straight from Mega Man 2. He's got the Leaf Shield, he's got the Crash Bomber, he's got, I'm pretty sure he has one more, the Metal Blade.
Metal Blade. And air shooter, I believe, is his up air.
Yes, it is. It was really cool to see where, we really got to see where it came from. And that's part of what makes Smash Brothers so special, I guess. Yeah,
you can clearly tell that a lot of passion was put into bringing Mega Man into Smash. And it's just, I think he is the best example of when they make Smash, they're all into it.
Absolutely.
And they show the utmost respect for their guest characters, especially.
Oh yeah, they're probably the ones that are pulled off the best. Except Sonic.
Except for Sonic, who is still woefully, weirdly not great.
It's because they rushed him to get him into Brawl last minute, and then come Smash Wii U and Ultimate, they didn't care to really spruce him up a bit.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Sonic right now. We have to talk about something else. We got a decision to make, and I guess we're making it on air. So, for everybody listening, you are probably aware that Isabelle from the Animal Crossing series was confirmed to be a playable fighter in the game last Thursday, and
that's exciting. Isabelle's cool.
I like Isabelle. She's cute. She's fun. What game are we playing? So we've got 3 options.
So we have been arguing back and forth over this. Part of the reason that we never announce right away, we wait until our next episode, is so that we can have this time to deliberate and discuss and figure out what we're going to play.
Normally it wouldn't be this hard.
We're of 2 schools of thought here. So Joe is of the school of thought that Isabelle obviously is from Animal Crossing New Leaf, and New Leaf is probably the most representative game that we could have for her, and it shows off really, what she's about, where she came from, and it would just be an overall good choice. And meanwhile, I am of the school of thought that I don't want to play Animal Crossing New Leaf.
'Cause you hate happiness and fun.
Okay, so my thing with Animal Crossing is that I am in love with the world of Animal Crossing. I am in love with the characters of Animal Crossing. I am in love with the aesthetic of Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing looks like a game that I am in love with. I hate playing Animal Crossing. I don't actually like the games at all. And with Animal Crossing on GameCube, our choice for Villager, we have come up with a creative solution for what we're going to do for Smashterpieces for that game that I think is going to be pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to that one. But there's no real creative solution for playing New Leaf. In addition to being one of those games that we just kind of play until we don't play anymore, I'm the only one between the 2 of us that has the capability to stream from 3DS. And because I don't really like playing Animal Crossing, I wouldn't end up playing it for more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time. And that doesn't make for a very good stream. And so, if we go with this plan of just play New Leaf for a month, then that's a solid month where we have no content. And I'm not a huge fan of that. And I don't feel like we get a lot of value from Smashterpieces as a show by doing New Leaf, because we will explicitly take content away from the show for a game that is more or less the same as a game we will have already played. And there are a lot of similar games that we're playing on this list, but it's kind of like that 1-2 punch there of it's very similar to another game that we'd be playing, and we wouldn't be able to stream out of it. So that's why I feel like one of the two spin-off games would be a better choice, because it would add in that variety, it would be more easily streamable, and worst case scenario, it's just way quicker. So if we do get into that problem of, not a lot of interesting stream content out of it, we'd at least get it out of the way really quick. And that's where I stand. I've never played either Happy Home Designer or Amiibo Festival. Amiibo Festival looks like an absolute garbage pile.
Yeah, I've never heard very flattering things about Amiibo Festival.
But I think if we planned it around, there are times, we would want to play that game together in person. There are times in our lives where we can figure out a way to do that. We could make that happen if we really wanted to. And, we wouldn't be playing it for a year and a half, let's be real. But we could make that work if we wanted to. Happy Home Designer is probably a much better game. I've heard it's not very substantive as a game, but it would be much better probably than Amiibo Festival. It's just, I don't think that New Leaf would be best for the show.
So see, I think we're kind of screwed either way on this one, but at the same time, I brought this up in a different conversation earlier. Happy Home Designer worries me because I'm afraid that episode in general will be 10 minutes long.
We managed a half hour talking about Duck Hunt.
Yeah, but Duck Hunt had history behind it. It had industry history behind it. Happy Home Designer doesn't have that. So here's what I am proposing. I think we should let listeners decide. I'm not gonna put up a poll because people will just vote in the poll without listening to the episode. And I do think that both of these sides have merit, and I don't want people, because if I just put up a poll before people even listen, they're gonna vote New Leaf. I already fucking know that.
Probably.
And I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. So what I want you to do, listener who is listening right now with your ears, tweet at us. Tweet at Smashterpieces on Twitter, and let us know. Should we play New Leaf? Should we play Happy Home Designer? Should we play Amiibo Festival?
We don't want to play Amiibo Festival, but if that's what is decided to be the best thing to do for the show, by God, we'll do it.
We sure will. But for real, and keep in mind, like Matt said, this game ain't showing up. No matter what we pick, this game ain't showing up for a year and a half, if not 2 years.
How long have you been going? 2 months now, and we've gotten through 6 games.
Yeah, this is number 6.
And we're in the time where these are the shortest games on the list.
Yeah, we're going to start getting into some real long games here in the next couple months. So it's going to be a while before we get to this game, but make that decision.
Put it this way, no matter what we choose, it's after Xenoblade.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good long while.
So, tweet at us. Again, that is at Smashterpieces. If you're not following us already, follow us on Twitter. Let us know. Should we play New Leaf, Amiibo Festival, or Happy Home Designer? They have all got pros and cons. Amiibo Festival mostly has cons. And we're going to leave it up to you, because I think that's the most fair thing, is to leave it up to the listeners, since we can't really make a decision on our own, because this is a legitimately hard decision. No other character would have been this hard. Why couldn't it have just been Isaac?
I mean, Medusa would kind of be pretty hard.
Okay, Medusa or Viridi. Well, no, Medusa, yeah, would have been hard. We have a plan for Viridi. Viridi, luckily, is not going to be in this game, thank God. It's not looking like... Oh, boy, dodged a bullet on that one. But, yeah.
Because the box theory doesn't have Viridi.
Yeah, it sure doesn't, bud. Also, I just want to believe in my heart that Viridi's not in this game. But she can be DLC if she's announced alongside another Kid Icarus game. And I only half mean that because we need another game to play for Smashterpieces. I also just want another Kid Icarus game.
So Medusa would be the single worst character to be announced for the sake of Smashterpieces. Isabelle was the second worst.
Yeah, Isabelle was up there as well. No, I have a list of worse.
You know, Agnes would be pretty bad. I don't want to play Bravely Default.
I do want to actually ask this before we move on to our next game. What is your nightmare scenario character? Your one biggest nightmare scenario character?
Agnes, I'm not playing Bravely Default. I'm sorry. I'll quit the show.
Mine is Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins. Because I've mentioned this to our friend Jesse has straight up said, if Arthur somehow ever makes it into Smash, they will play that game in my place. Because my apartment won't survive that playthrough. I will burn shit down. So yeah, that's
It's funny because these Agnes and Arthur would both be pretty interesting Smash characters in their own right, but sure keep them away from us.
Sure what? There's still a chance for Agnes. Vergaven still says there's a Square Enix character coming.
The Squaracter, as
Squaracter. Credit to Cyberlink 420 for coming up with that name.
Let me ask you, turn that around. What's the opposite? For the sake of Smashterpieces alone, forget the game Smash Brothers for a second. For the sake of Smashterpieces, who do you most want announced?
Now, is this a question of like somebody who could actually be announced, or just like I'm going to go with somebody that actually has like a fighting chance.
Let's say we've got that list of characters, that just in case list we've got. Choose from that.
My answer might surprise you. It's Ayumi from Famicom Detective Club.
Just because you want to know what on earth that
I want to know
is?
what the fuck Famicom Detective Club is. One of these, so we have like Matt just said, we have a whole list of we have a whole just in case list for characters. And I think maybe one day when we're closer to being done, we should do like a bonus episode on this list. Like, what could have been?
Yeah, maybe like once all the DLC is said and done, and we're confident that there's no more coming, and we will never need this list again.
Just like a special what could have been episode. But yeah, I think Ayumi, because I want to know what the fuck Famicom Detective Club is. I need to know.
I think for me, so it just so happens that my number one choice for Smashterpieces game is also my number one choice for character in the game. But honestly, Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia, because the Tales series I'm pretty big on. Just by circumstances of what systems I've owned, I haven't played most of them, but the ones that I have played I love so much, and I really specifically want to get you into them. It would be absolutely terrible because Tales of Symphonia is 80 hours long, and that would be another huge JRPG. But I just really... Tales of Symphonia is like the most underrated, extremely popular game that I can think of that I really love. Like, it's popular and everyone knows what it is, but who has really played it? Not that many people. And I think the Tales series does really cool stuff with JRPG tropes and conventions, and I want more people into it. So I want you to play it. But it's not going to happen, so, oh well.
There's still DLC. I'd like to give an honorary mention to Lip from Panel de Pon. Not just because I want to play Panel de Pon, but also because Lip seems cool. And I think she deserves a shot in Smash.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
Anyways, we have stalled enough. We need to talk about the next game.
Gotta get that full hour's worth of content out of this episode.
Sure do. You ready to talk about game number 7? representing fighter number 13 Epsilon, the Echo of Princess Peach. It's the 1989 Game Boy game, Super Mario Land.
So this is one of the weirdest games in the Mario franchise. It is. Did Nintendo themselves even make it, or is this one of those games that they outsourced to another?
I believe they made it. Yeah.
Okay. I have played this game. It was years ago, so I can't even remember it. But it is notable for having the best Mario song not in Smash. And it is a crime that there's one song in the game that's in Smash Brothers, and it is not the overworld theme, also known as Mirabuto Kingdom, Mirabuto Kingdom, I think. It's a weird mistranslation of Pyramid Kingdom. It's the overworld theme. World 1-1. That song is such a jam, and why isn't it in Smash?
It's okay, the Underground theme is in Smash, which is what you're hearing right now.
Underground theme's dumb.
The Smash remix is pretty good. It's a catchy remix, at the very least. I've never heard the original, but yeah, I've never played this. I've never touched this game ever in my life. The only knowledge I have about this game is a Brental Floss music video where he does a duet with another singer, and the other singer really likes Super Mario Land and thinks that it deserves its fair shake and thinks that it's a good game, and Brent thinks Super Mario Land sucks.
So, I should say that Super Mario Land was developed by Nintendo R&D 1, the studio that you may recognize from such games as Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, and Metroid.
That's a weird spread.
Sure is.
That is a bizarre spread.
Oh, and Famicom Detective Club.
Hey, let's play that instead. No, I've never played Super Mario Land in my life. I do know the Overworld song. It's fucking famous. Who doesn't know that song? It's iconic. I do think that this is going to end up being another sort of Duck Hunt situation in one way, being that, like, this is a historic landmark game. Like, this is a Mario game that was portable for the first time ever.
Just skimming through the Wikipedia article, I can already see a couple things that we would want to bring up and talk about. But it is definitely also the black sheep of the Mario franchise in a lot of ways, more so than Mario 2 USA. Like, aesthetically, it looks nothing like a Mario game, and nothing from this game made it over to the Mario series proper, except for Daisy.
Yep. This is the only mainline Mario game that Daisy has ever been in.
Even, like, to that end, I don't even know why it's Daisy instead of Peach. I'm not sure why Princess Peach isn't in this game. Probably so that they can justify not having it in the Mushroom Kingdom, because it's so aesthetically different. But
probably,
for better or for worse, this is the first game and the only mainline Mario game to feature Princess Daisy.
Mm-hmm. Which is hence why it was picked to represent her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of looking forward to giving this game a shot, though I'm not expecting much. I have been told that because it's a Game Boy game, it's not hard. Game Boy games didn't tend to be hard. They were made to play over and over again on road trips.
Well, it's also because they had to be really micro-condensed. So, I don't think this game had a save feature when it launched. And when you're playing on a handheld, you've got a pretty hard time limit with your battery life.
Yeah, oh man, remember batteries that you had to, like, replace?
Well, yeah, you couldn't plug it in to charge. You had to turn off the system and replace the batteries.
Man, what a weird relic from another time.
There was a hard time limit for how long you could play.
Yeah, so the games had to be short and couldn't be, like, mind-numbingly hard. Which is funny because guess what game got ported to the Game Boy? Yeah, you're right, Ghosts and Goblins. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this. Not expecting great things because, like you said, I'm aware that it's the black sheep of the franchise. A lot of people don't think this game holds up very well, and I'm sure it will not for multiple reasons. But I am looking forward to giving it a shot. I've never touched it.
If it sounds like your jam, you could pick it up on 3DS Virtual Console.
You sure can. I'm looking at it right now. There's no fucking price. Where's the price, Nintendo? Show me the price. Why is your website... Oh, there we go. It is $4, $3.99 on 3DS.
I will probably not be able to play it on 3DS because one of my buttons is broken, and I need to replace it. So it's the R button, and it's like, you know how the main problem you usually have with a 3DS R button when it starts to go bad is that pressing it down starts to feel kind of soft. It doesn't have the click to it anymore, and like you have to press really hard for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, imagine a model of a 3DS. Not a real 3DS. Like, someone made a model 3DS. And you press the buttons, and it's not a button. It's just there. You press it, and it doesn't move whatsoever. That's my R button right now.
Nice.
My R button is thoroughly done.
You might want to get that fixed.
Yeah, I need a number 000 screwdriver, because that's the only one that can actually open up the back of the 3DS. And I don't have one of those, so I'll need to get one. I'm hoping that there's just something lodged in there that I could just like push out of the way and boom, it's fixed, but I might have to actually buy a new R button.
Yeah. Super Mario Land. Should be fun.
Buy it on Virtual Console or play it on a real-ass Game Boy, if you're hardcore.
Or if your Game Boy still works somehow. Or if the battery in your cartridge... Well, no, I guess the battery wouldn't be a problem in Super Mario Land if it can't save. Never mind. I mean, if a Game Boy can survive the Gulf War, I suppose it can survive your basement for who knows how long. But the better option is probably to just go ahead and buy it for 3DS. It's only $4.
Almost definitely. Hey, maybe they'll include Game Boy games on the Nintendo Switch Online features, and we can just play it there.
If only they
Launching tomorrow.
They will not. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I think we're good to go.
We'd like to thank user DVD Smith. He is a guy that we knew from the Show Me Your News. He's a friend of the show. He's a guy we know from the Show Me Your News community. He posted us on the Smash Reddit. So if you're listening to us for the first time, it's very possible you came from there. Maybe not for the first time. But if you're listening to this episode right now and you didn't know about us before, it's very possible that you came here from the Smash Reddit.
And a big thanks to the one guy, I don't remember who it was, just someone from Reddit who posted suggesting that we start putting download links on the website. Because we do that now.
Yep, we're gonna start doing that. I'm glad he brought it up now and not at, let's say, Wind Waker, which is number 37, when I would have to go through 37 episodes and change each one manually to have a download link.
Thank you, Reddit stranger.
I appreciate it more than you could ever know. That being said, if you are listening to this on iTunes or Google Podcasts somehow, go throw us a review, go throw us a rating. It would really help sort of get that good old search engine optimization, or SEO as the kids call it down in the hood.
No, they don't.
How do you know? Are you in the hood?
I try not to be.
But, yeah, it really helps. It makes a tangible difference if you could just... it takes about 5 seconds.
I love how completely cold and clinical we're being about this. Like, yes, if you rate us and give us a review, it will improve our search engine optimization and make a tangible difference in helping people find the show.
Look, it will, alright?
We are more straightforward and honest with you than anyone else trying to take advantage of search engine optimization. So smash that like button and hit that bell button.
We're not on YouTube. That doesn't work here. We could be, I guess, but
you know it is on YouTube. The VODs of our Twitch streams, you can check those out. Joe actually edits his, and I don't. I just throw them on YouTube like that.
Well, I edit mine a little bit. I edit out like the front bit and a little bit of the back bit and the break so that it's not just a picture of me photoshopped on a skier's head for 10 minutes.
I should probably do that, but I don't, so maybe I'll start doing that.
You can go find those on YouTube. If you just search Smashterpieces streams, you'll find mine. Is there something they could search to find yours?
I don't know.
They're on different channels. They're on our personal channels.
I have a link on my Twitch, so just go there. It'll work.
If you go to the website, that's at anondino.squarespace.com. You can find links to both of our Twitch channels. You can also find a link to the spreadsheet that is serving as our list, so you can see what order we're going to play the games in, what game's coming up next. The whole list is public. So,
yes,
go check that out. And like we said earlier, tweet at us what game we should be playing for Isabelle. And that's pretty much all I got. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. I don't got nothing more.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Sure, let's go ahead and do that, guys. You can sure do it. With that, my name is Joe.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll see you next time for Super Mario Land.